let's go ahead and dive into the overall account. See what that's sitting at. $86,323. Okay, no, we're sitting at $87,356.20. Man, yo, I just gotta look at this real quick. Yo, what's going on, YouTube? It's O'Neil from Tap Through O'Neil. Another week, another $1,000. Yo, I'm excited. Yo, a lot of things been going on within the portfolio and the stock market as a whole. We got CPI, PPI reports coming out, and it's basically looking like the market is pricing in a 25 basis point cut. Could possibly be more. We could never know with Jerome Powell. You know, he's gonna make whatever decision he want to make this coming week. So we got a lot to look forward to. I ain't gonna waste too much time. You guys know how we rock. You know, we're gonna do our $1,000 deposit on the laptop and then switch over to the mobile version of the app and deep dive into the portfolio and everything that's been going on. So yeah, my pops told me I should bring a little bit more energy, so I'm gonna try to give you guys a little bit more energy this video. Not make it too serious, but yeah, we're gonna handle business regardless, so stay tapped in. Alright, so as you guys can see, we sitting at $77,789.85 in the individual investing account. Like, this is crazy, man. Currently down $541.49 on the day. As you guys know, this is the weekend, so it's, you know, trading a little bit below average right now. Only thing that's trading right now is crypto, so that's the reason why, you know, the market is moving or my portfolio is moving. But outside of that, man, it's been a crazy week. Let's go ahead and show you. Let's see how much we did on the week. We're up $5,394.71. That's a 7.45% gain on the week. That's a nice improvement from last week. As you guys know, we had a little bit of a market sell-off last week. A lot of catalysts were involved with why we were selling off. But hey, man, let's check the month to see how we doing on the month. Okay, not too impressive on the month. Only 3,500 on the month. Like I said, last week, which was our down, we were down as much as, let's see what that number is, 8,900. Down as much as 8,900. So that kind of took away our gains, and we were down to what, 65,000. Now we're at 77,000, nearly $78,000, and we actually peaked out at around 78, probably even 79 if I'm not mistaken. I think I might have saw 79. But yeah, let's check the 3 months. Yo, we're up $22,000. $22,555.46 in the past 3 months. That's 40% in the past 3 months, bro. That is insane. Yo, we've been working, yo. We've been working. But yeah, let's go ahead and look into the buying power and see what we're looking at. All right, as you guys know, I did pay off or get rid of all of my margin, so I'm currently not in margin anymore. Technically kinda am, but they're not charging me in any margin interest. I'm just kind of using my the margin buying power as collateral to do my options trades, which is going to be showing you the buying power on the futures and event contracts and stuff like that. So we got a buying power of $8,533.64. You have available cash 801.90 cents. Like, that's crazy, man. It's been a minute since we seen actual cash in this account, which means it signals that we are completely out of margin. I told y'all guys, that I could clear my margin up within as little as a week or two. You know, you guys know I do my $1,000 weekly deposits, and then I also trade options. And then not only options, I do have dividend income coming from the Yield Max ETFs and the Roundhill ETF, that is PLTW. But let's go ahead and jump right into the deposit. Let's not waste any more time. I'm gonna show you guys everything that's been going on. I think this is the last week for that gold entry, so you should be looking at some more gold, and this should be the last week. Hopefully we get lucky, we win some gold. I'm gonna be really excited if we do. Hopefully we get to be one of those lucky winners. All right, so your deposit earned you 1,000 entries. We are currently at 4,013 entries total to win 1 out of 5,000 gold bars. So, and yeah, Robinhood had they summit, so that's done. Let's see what the account is sitting at now. All right, we're sitting at $78,815.64. That just changed a little bit. But hey, man, I'm excited. Yo, buying power went up to $10,533.64. As you guys know, every time I deposit $1,000 into this account, Robinhood allows me to borrow $2,000 of their money. So our cash went up $1,000. We're at $1,801.90. Margin total went. Did it go up or down? I think it went up. So it's at $32,731.74. Options collateral is still the same. The buying power on the futures and event contracts went up $1,000. And as you guys know, we do not have any more margin buffer because we're currently and completely out of margin right now. So it's just a sight to see. So we're going to go ahead and transition to the mobile version of the app, and I'll see y'all over there. Alright, as I said, we sitting at $78,814. And let's just get into it. So our option plays. As you guys know, I made a $5,000 last week, or was it this week? I think I made $5,000 at the beginning of this week on Monday with these MSTU plays. We sold 40 contracts at the $6 price on we sold a put at the $6 price for 40 contracts, and then we had some other plays in there. A lot of them, the other ones expired worthless, so we didn't take any assignments this week. And then we also bought some calls to just hedge against, the risk. I did, the reason why I'm buying a lot more calls, if you guys didn't know, I started buying calls. The first call I bought was on TSLL. If you guys remember, I had bought one call and it was an experimental thing just to see what would happen, just to see how the buying call side of options work, because I wasn't too familiar from before. But I had somebody under my comments saying pretty much that I'm gambling and I don't really know what I'm doing. And that's the whole point. That's the whole point of all of this, is to, fail fast and fail forward. Make as many mistakes as you can early on with as much risk, and gauge your risk, of course, and gauge how much you're willing to lose. But that little bit of money that I used to trade or buy a call on TSLL pretty much gave me some insight onto how to trade or buy calls and when to buy calls. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been buying calls. I did a little bit of a short call buy on that's going to be expiring this week. So I bought 10 contracts at the $5 call price. I'll show you what that's looking like. So currently total return is down $70. And last return on Friday we were up $50. So hopefully MSTU pushes up. It's been lagging a little bit behind. Let's go into strategy, because that's the underlying. Where's strategy at? Okay, strategy. Yeah, so strategy's been lagging behind. Not too much movement on the week. Up about 1.52%, close to $5. So not too much movement, but it did have signs. I'll show you what it looked like this week. It went as high as $5.35 on MSTU, which is the leverage ETF that tracks MSTR strategy. So it can get to that $5 or go past that $5.3 range, because you guys can see at the beginning of the month it was trading at $7. So it does have the potential. One of you guys asked me when is a good time to really know when a stock is going to move, or how to know when the stock is going to move down, or what's a good range to understand when to sell puts on the stock or ETF. So if you guys, like I said, the market points that I use is when we have a little bit of market crashes or sell-offs, and I use these as support levels. So you guys can see we have a support level at 3.75. It went as low as 3.75. That was back in March. But that was due to, you got to understand the catalyst. That was due to tariffs, when tariffs just got announced and all that, the whole market went down as a whole. So anytime the MSTU or whatever stock you're trading dips below, dips to these prices, I would say you should start selling puts. You guys can see it started going down, which means it's going to be due for a nice uptick eventually at some point. It all depends on the stock. Obviously, you want to be trading a value stock. I think MSTR is definitely a value stock in my opinion. The reason being, it has the biggest crypto reserves out of any company. I'll go into underline to show you that, guys, that real quick. Where's your strategy? So yeah, it pretty much holds the most Bitcoin out of everybody, and not to mention this was just about to be a part of the S&P 500. The reason being why it didn't, really get into the S&P 500 is because people are concerned that it's more reliant on its uh, Bitcoin reserves rather than it as a company. It's technically, what is it, a software developing company. So it really doesn't really focus on that side. It just really is really valued because it has the most Bitcoin reserves. But let's not spend too much time on that. I'll show you guys the other places how they doing. So we bought, you guys know we bought a call on PLTW. This is doing pretty good. We're up $280 total, and that is set to expire October 17th. So that's doing really good. And then the other $4.5 call, we're down $50, but we have until, when does this expire? Yeah, October 24th. So we got some time to play with this and see what it does. And then also the puts, the 40 contract put that we have. So we're currently up $960. We can close this out and get this profit out. But I want more profit. I want to see how MSTU moves when and if they announce a 25 basis point cut, possibly more, hopefully more. You guys know we made $4,880. I pretty much rounded that up to $5,000. That's why I put that in the title as about $5,000. So, yeah, moving on from there, let's see what our holdings are. Crypto. Let's see how crypto did this week. Crypto only up 2,300. Not too bad, about 8%. Pretty good, pretty good. As you guys know, we only hold Ethereum and Bitcoin. We hold 5 Ethereum coins and currently up 8,800. Today we're down $521, and Bitcoin. You guys know we're always going to be up on this position because we bought way back then. I do not increase my position on crypto anymore currently because it is a volatile stock, and I'm more towards gearing up towards trading options. Sorry about that. TSLL, yo, Tesla. Yo, I've been giving y'all the call out. Some of y'all been taking the call out. Some of y'all been trading Tesla. Yo, I hope y'all eating. Like, I had to get out of Tesla. The reason why I had to get out is because you got to know when to get in and get out of these things. And you got to be comfortable with whatever price range you get out. Last week I got out, so I got out right before the run up. Which means I kind of missed out on some of the upside, which is something that I would have been missed out on anyways because I've been selling cover calls right at my target price. So I do have some 8 more shares still currently on TSLL. So I did appreciate, a little bit within this stock or this ETF, but I'm okay with not, benefiting from the run up because I took that $29,000 from the TSLL, the money that was locked up within this trade. We've been making money from the premiums, and I moved that to MSTU, and I made a 5K play. So you guys gotta know and understand, when is a time to get out and get in, because if you stay in too long, you can get locked in and have your money locked in for too long. We held these shares, was about 2,300 shares on TSLL. We held those shares for like nearly about 2.5 months. So we paid interest on it, and our last interest payment was $150 on about 30. I want to say $3,200, 32,000, not 3,200, $32,000. We paid $150 in interest, so not too bad. We made all that money back. I'll show you guys real quick. Yeah, those were the assignments that we had. 16,000, and then basically $13,000 assignment. So we got out of TSL last week. MSTU, we have 400 shares. We sold a covered call at the $5.5 strike price. Obviously, MSTU did not hit that strike price, so that expired worthless. And I did not roll my options on it. Reason being I didn't roll it is because I want to see what it does this week. If it does have a nice run up, I want to be able to capture more of the upside. So I'm willing to sell. I'll show you guys real quick. I'm willing to sell covered call at maybe possibly a $6 price or a $6.5 price, depending on how it moves. If it doesn't move up too much, we'll just sell it at that $5.5 strike price, and as I said, I'm not selling these shares for any less than what I bought it for, which is that average cost, which is about 5.20. So always going to be selling at that $5.5 strike price. Moving on from MSTU, Tesla. Tesla is doing what it does. No payout from Tesla, but we're back in the positive now. It's been a minute. Crazy run up from Tesla. Misty, we didn't have a payout. You know, we're still down $1,800, but we are still collecting uh, dividend payouts. ULTY, you guys know ULTY pays us weekly. I'll show you guys what the payment was. We're currently down $665.72. Average cost is at $6.17. And we got a dividend payout of $102.13. That's a breakdown of 9.9 cents basically per share. We got 1,100 shares, as you guys know. And I do not reinvest back into these funds. I'm starting to gear away towards um buying into these yield max funds. Reason being, we're closing in on that 100K, so I want to make sure my assets are appreciating. Yes, these do pay out nice dividends, but I'll leave my positions within the yield max funds, and I'm going to pretty much be diving into other positions, more so geared towards trading options and more valued stocks like Tesla and Nvidia. That's what I'm going to be focused on going forward. So that's just a little bit, you know, my strategy is always going to be changing depending on market conditions. So you guys just want to be informed about that. My strategies will never stay the same. It's all depending. And the more you get and gain your appreciating wealth, or the more wealth you gain, the more you want to protect it. This is something that rich do. It's steal a page out of their book if you want to get to that level. So YMAX. We had a payout. This is another weekly ETF. It's not been doing too much. Let's see what it done week. It went up about 0.15 cents on the week. Currently down $25, but we already got that money back. Paid us about $13.34 this week. That's about 13 cents per share. We have 101 shares, and I do not increase my position on YMAX. Coney, I think we're expecting a payout this week. Or did we get a payout from last week? I'm not too sure. Was it? Probably about two weeks ago. So we're probably going to be expecting a payout in about 2 weeks. But currently down only $388, which is pretty good, showing signs of recovery. Can't be mad at that. Can't be mad at that. Moving on, who I think we're expecting a dividend payout in about 2 weeks. This had a nice pump. Look where it jumped. I think it had a gap up. Yeah, so it gapped up right here when the Robinhood had their summer announcement, and I should have bought more, but hey, it is what it is. We're up $83. Currently holding 40 shares. PLTW, this thing is doing what it does. It always does what it does. This is another weekly paying ETF. It's a little bit of controversy from TikTok. Some people have been in the comments pretty much saying these funds are not good. And I've been trying to prove to you guys, like, this literally tracks the underlying, which is Palantir. It paid me out. I'll show you. We're up $83, by the way. Up $83. We currently hold 51 shares. Average cost of $45.42. And we bought that call on it, which is performing really well. And our dividend payout this week was $27.90. That's about 54 cents per share. And we currently hold 50 shares, and that got reinvested. I do have reinvestment or drip on for PLTW. Reason being, I'm okay with reinvesting into the Robinhood because it definitely tracks the underlying in the Palantir. Moving on from there, as you guys know, Tesla had a run up, so see how much we're up $2,100 on Tesla. That's all right, and I think that's pretty much it. No, but that's not it. Gemini, the IPO that launched, man, I'm so disappointed. I applied for 120 shares. I queued up for 120 shares of Gemini, and I only got one share, bro. Bro, what's good? What is the secret? What's good? Yo, shout out to Looney again, yo. For even just pointing these type of plays out. But man, I queued up for 120 shares. I only got approved for one. One of y'all was in the comments saying that y'all also got approved for one. So this might be a thing. This might have been a high demand stock or IPO that was launching. So they only pretty much gave everybody one share, unless I guess you probably, I don't know how it works, how they do it. If you gotta be getting a little bit earlier. But we only got one share. I honestly don't know what I'm gonna do with this share, but we'll wait to see what happens with the rate cuts next week, and then probably make a decision from there. And then we also made a prediction. I pretty much predicted. I'm pretty much predicting that the Fed is not going to maintain the rates, so I bet it no. And yeah, so that's what that is. I think what is the breakdown on it? Oh, it's not going to show me, whatever. But we'll move on to a traditional IRA. So our traditional IRA is currently at 5,100 now. We're back over that $5,000 mark, buying power of $143, and we rolled our calls on TSLL. So we still hold our shares of TSLL. It does reflect a positive of nearly $600. We're not going to get all of that money because, as I said, we're selling it at that $15 call. We just bought a little bit more time by selling it the following week. Oh, excuse me. And then we also have our shares on Tech L. I think I bought some more shares. So we're currently up $123 on Tech L. Tech L is basically a leverage ETF that tracks a lot of the tech stocks in the S&P 500, but as far as basically a leverage position, so 2 times up and also 2 times down. So whenever tech stocks move up, this moves twice as much, and whenever tech stocks move down, this moves down twice as much. A little bit of a risky play, but this is a retirement fund, so I'm okay with that. My Roth IRA, this is the dark horse. This is the one that's going to get me to being a millionaire, hopefully, by the time I retire or I get to that age of retirement. And this is all safe. I don't do anything. This is all automated process. So in addition to my $1,000 deposit, I do invest I think this totals up to about $90 on a weekly basis. So $8.40 into JEPQ and SCHD on a daily basis. And SCHD, we only put in $6 every week. Might change up the the allocations a little bit because some guys saying I should do more growth. But that's pretty much what it's in at now. That's what I'm doing. It's going to be doing what it does. This is a whole automated process. I do not pay attention to this portfolio. I just let it do what it does. Currently up $20 on the week. So it's a little slow and a little steady. But this is what you want to do if you want to make sure everything is safe. You want to pick some value ETFs. So let's go ahead and dive into the overall account. See what that's sitting at. $86,323. Okay, no. We're sitting at $87,356.20. Man, yo, I just gotta look at this real quick. What was it? Last week? We was just at, was it last week? No, not last week. Last week we just got over the $80,000 mark. Previous to that, the previous week we was at 78,000. Previous to that, which was about 3 weeks ago, we cracked the $80,000 mark just for the first time. Then we had some dial back as the sell off in the market, which was so about a $2,000 drop. So it went to 78, and now we're at 87. No, we went to 80,000 high, nearly 81,000 last week, and now we're at 87,000. That's crazy. That is insane. We're closing in on that 100K. I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna do my best to get to 100K by the end of the year. I really want to get to it a little bit before then, if I'm being honest. But we're gonna, make sure we try our best to get there. Obviously I can't control the market and what the market does, and my portfolio is volatile, but I'll be trying to make a safe but risky plays, but safe plays, things that I can handle. My risk is a little bit different than everybody else's risk, and my portfolio is structured specifically towards me, so I wouldn't recommend copying the things that I do. You can take some of the things that I do, make your own strategy, but as far as copying everything I do, unless you're investing the exact same way I do, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. But currently sitting at 87,000, we're 3K away from $90,000. That's crazy. Yo, put down in the comments down below. Let me know how long do you think it's gonna take me to get to 90, and then how long you think it's gonna take me to get to 100. We're in September, October, November, December. It's about 4 weeks left in the year. No, not 4. I'm bugging. 4 weeks is crazy. 4 months left in the year. Let me know when y'all think I'm gonna get there. Leave it down in the comments, man. I'm excited, yo. Y'all been with me on this journey. We lost $30,000 this year, and we got it right back. We changed up our strategy. We locked in a little bit heavier, and then shout out to that millionaire that said, I'll put a little clip. I don't know if I'm not gonna put it in this video because this video is gonna be a little bit longer, but basically pretty much telling me he didn't think that I was built for this trading option stuff. And I'm learning on the fly. I got no guidance. I got nobody teaching me this stuff. I'm just feeling fast and feeling forward. I'm just figuring this stuff out, doing my research, doing my own due diligence, and I'm putting a lot of work behind the scenes. And y'all been showing a lot of support. I appreciate all of y'all for showing that support and everything. Like, this channel's been growing. We currently just cracked the $1,600 subscriber mark. Hopefully we can be closing on our 2K really soon. I appreciate all of y'all, man. I really do. I appreciate all the support that I've been getting, man. And I do this for free. Like I said, I don't get paid for this. I'm not monetized yet. That might be another goal of mine, but I'm currently just trying to focus on getting to this 100K, showing you guys that it's possible. It doesn't matter what you look like, where you come from. That's my goal, to show you guys that it's possible. If you guys tap into your potential, anything is possible. Crazy. A little over a year ago, I was out of a job, man. I didn't have a job. I was over $30,000 in debt. That was my first video, paying off $30,000 in debt. So I have a lot of story, man. I got a lot of things I got to tell you guys, and I want to show you how. But let's lock in and focus fourth quarter, and get to that 100K by the end of this year. So if you guys felt like this was useful or helpful anyway, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on post button notifications. I updated that Discord link, so you guys can join up on the Discord. Everything is free. Once again, I put it in the comments. I promise that I'm not going to be charging anybody for any services until I hit 100K. So take advantage. Hit me up. Hit me up on Instagram. Link to that is going to be in the description below. And follow me on TikTok if you guys want short form content. So yeah, without further ado, it's Tap the 1 I'm signing out.